just debating what an agent does, protecting the best interest of your clients. Did Geno Smith's agents fail miserably? He fired him. Now, he said it wasn't all about the draft. What else is it going to be about? It has to be based on the draft. Did they tell him that he could drop? I think if I'm Geno Smith, this is what I would have done. If I'm his agents, I would have done the following. You have to say, keep this in mind. This is what we're hearing. This is what we're hoping for. But once I saw that he was going to drop, I get him out of the green room. That's all. That's all you can do. There you protect him the best you can. Rich Eisen from the NFL Network was there. How big a story do you think this is? Geno Smith has fired his agents.
I don't know if it's that big of a story. Maybe they promised him that Tebow would be there for him, and then when the Jets let go of Tebow, it would just make it less of a circus. And they promised him a full-on 5-ring circus. Could be that, Dan. Because I'm scratching the surface. I don't see much.
Well, okay.
Honestly, it makes no sense about him firing his agents. But let's be honest. I mean, when it all comes down to it, it all really matters about how Sanchez handles this. That's it. It's because Sanchez is going to beat him out in a competition. There's no question about that, unless it comes on from on high, which really doesn't mean it's a competition. And if it is a competition and he beats out Geno Smith and starts week one and one of his young receivers, because the Jets really didn't get him much help at all, his favorite tight end went to Miami, that one of his young receivers falls down on a route and a Sanchez pass goes straight into the breadbasket of Darrelle Revis for 6, and everyone starts chanting for Geno Smith. How does Mark Sanchez handle that on a short week going to New England on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, but I'll get to that in a moment, and that's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's a transition period for Rex and also Mark Sanchez. We know that. But, that your agent is going to protect you on draft night. What could these agents have told him? Because the teams aren't going to be honest with the agents. They're not honest with these so-called insiders,
right?
The mock draft guys. Now I'm finding out people go, Mayock said, well, I didn't have a first-round grade for Geno Smith. Okay. There's certain guys who did not have him in the first round. Every mock draft I saw had Geno Smith going in the first round.
Right. Well, there are many different ways to look at it where you could see the storm clouds coming with every quarterback-needy team in the top 10 of the draft going ahead and trading for a veteran quarterback right off the bat. So you could already see that coming, that there are fewer places for him to go. If he wasn't going to go to Jacksonville at 2, and any team that might trade down out of the first round, down the first round to go get Geno Smith, which team would that be? And then you take a look. If you're the agent, there really is no place to take the kid out of the green room. The only other place that there is backstage, there's 2 places that you can't be seen. One is the hot press room that Nike has back there to make sure that the jerseys are all set as soon as a kid is picked. And then the other one is the commissioner's green room, where he personally put Brady Quinn years ago. So if the commissioner's not coming to take you, you're hanging out in the hallway or something. So there really was nothing for an agent to do. And if he is firing his agents because the first round didn't go the way he was expecting it to, then I should say that the PR staff of the New York Jets should sit him down and tell him what it's going to be like the first time he doesn't convert a third down in front of the home folks. That's alarming in that respect. Is that if he is firing his agents over that, even though he said he didn't, he needs to get a better PR staff behind him, because this day is coming for him in New York City.
Well, I think it's going to come sooner than expected, and I'm trying to figure out who starts first. Geno Smith, Matt Barkley. I imagine E.J. Manuel is going to be the starter. I would. think.
E.J. Manuel started day one.
Okay, so
you don't have to pick someone 16th overall and start Kevin Cobb and see how it goes. This kid is a kid that they hope is going to finally lead them out of the darkness and into the playoffs. That is for sure. And to me, that's the way it's done in the NFL. You hire a new coach, you take a kid that you like, you attach them at the hip, and you go right off.
But then you have the Jets, who have the same old coach, and they draft Geno Smith, their future.
No sense. It really doesn't, because both the coach and the quarterback, who has taken you close to the Super Bowl, they both have 16 games left. And you either rehabilitate both or you get rid of both and start fresh. And what the Jets have done is essentially, from what they're saying, is like, well, let's add another young quarterback to the mix, and let's see what happens. And I'm sort of speechless about that because the last time that they went ahead and went with moves that can work, maybe not, but let's see what happens. Every single one of those done by Mike Tannenbaum, getting Tebow, extending Sanchez, signing Santonio Holmes long-term, giving Darrelle Revis a contract that has no franchise tagability in it. Every last one of them exploded in the most Roadrunner-like way.
Okay, who starts sooner? Matt Barkley in Philadelphia, Geno Smith?
Oh, I think it'll good question. I mean, I know you only ask those. I'll go with Geno. I'll go with Geno just because, the only way that Barkley could start next year is if somehow, some way Vic gets hurt, which we know is feasible. And I think Dennis Dixon is there for a reason because he knows Chip Kelly and he knows whatever form of the system that he's bringing from Oregon with him. And Barkley is just going to have to sit there and learn. Who knows what his shoulder's like, too. I know, they're saying that he worked out and et cetera, but, this is the NFL and it's time. I think he's going to have to sit back and learn a little bit, and that's what a fourth-round choice usually does.
He's Rich Eisen from the NFL Network. Take a break, come back. I want to ask you about the in-stadium experience that the Falcons are looking at for their new $1 billion stadium. We'll have that for you because I think now the NFL and these other sports are realizing we've created the home experience where you don't need to go to the game. The Falcons are going to change that. Wait till you hear what they have in mind. We'll continue with the Rich Eisen. Also, the Jason Collins story and the spillover to the NFL because that's the next sport. We'll talk to Rich about that.